Both charge of the game. Nola's about this game, right?
In order for Snoop Huntley to be the starting quarterback.
Oh, hell no.
What was the process timeline as far as seeing Tua was unable to go and making Snoop the starter?
It's been all since last game process. The hip injury which he sustained in the Houston game, it was made worse on one particular play against the 49ers. So then you come in and you see that the injury is a little worse, but then you try to forecast, how things will heal based upon the only thing that you have to work with, which is the previous week's forecast, from the Houston game to the San Francisco game. So we were hoping and anticipating for a timeline similar to that. And as the week progressed, we didn't see the improvement we had hoped, but still really, allowing his body the full amount of time to heal. And ultimately, he absolutely wanted to play. It wasn't a pain tolerance thing because that's not in the equation for him. He wasn't physically. The main thing is that he not only was super susceptible to a much more significant injury based upon that injury if he were to fall in harm's way, but a major factor was the lack of strength due to the injury and his inability, as we forecasted, to protect himself and his teammates within the pocket and doing the things that he normally has to do. So, I think it was Friday or Saturday, that the hopeful trend of improvement. We were kind of faced with reality that it was kind of plateauing right then, and then but ultimately all the way up until this morning, I kind of kept an open mind and a hopeful mind. But I think the major thing is in the process. I think what was evident was the positives of time for Snoop and how far he's come since we last played with him. And I thought that was a tremendous outing for him. Made some plays, was very good with the ball, and those are always cool things for a player when they're playing a team that they were on that same calendar year.
Given the significance of this game tonight, and that he didn't play, and you described, pain, the weakness in the hip, and the danger of his, if he were to play again today, is it realistic to think that he could play next week? Is it a question of whether he may need surgery down the line?
The surgery is not currently on the table, and I think it's. Aren't you talking about next year, right? So it's hard to forecast next year. Come on, calendar joke. No, I have absolutely no idea with that. Like I said, we had reasonable, hopeful expectations for his body, and he absolutely had the same expectations, and so we'll to even begin to forecast this next week, I think is difficult because we were waiting till the last hour. So ultimately, if he's obviously super important to our team. It was not ideal in any way, shape, or form to have a game like this, and not have him available, but it was also from a medical perspective not an option for him to play. So we'll be hopeful for that, as we progress. But I can't even lean one way or the other really. So we'll see what the world has in store for us.
Just to follow up, is this injury in any way
Nope.
related to the?
No. That, which is it's not at all.
What's your perspective as a team is now still alive going into Week 18?
I think I'm very, very proud of the locker room and the coaching staff and just really everyone, because this one was important for the obvious reasons, but also, we were 2-6, staring at the LA Rams, and this game, winning this game, put us at 6 2 cents. And some of the best things in team sports occur when you have to galvanize together. And there's a lot of people telling you your season's over, or this, that, or the other. So, I think it speaks to that. And on top of all of that, you're going through that stretch. You're 5-2 in your last 7 games, and then on game day you're faced with you're not going to have your starting quarterback. I think defensively, team football, they rose to the occasion, having a couple turnovers and not letting them into the end zone, and guys made some plays just across the board. So it was a team win that felt real good for all the reasons above, and one that was I thought earned through the not only this last work week, but the accumulation of work weeks as they bonded together.
Tyler said that he finally started to get the hang of this offense after his third start. When was it noticeable to you and your staff that Snoop was starting to find the fit?
Just his. Honestly, it was running not our offense when he came back from injury, and he was playing on. He was doing the service teams work. You could feel an enhanced confidence that was bleeding over from his ownership of what he was tasked to do as a quarterback for our offense. So you could feel his impact on the daily practice field. And when you're talking about your a backup quarterback, that's a big deal when you're making an impact, providing energy, and also making confident plays. It was right when he returned from injury, and he made a pretty noticeable impact on the practice field in service team, and it was trickling over into our offensive stuff. So it's been a cool process with him to watch him kind of evolve.
We all know how much Teron means to this team. Can you give us a sense of what he was going through tonight? I saw him on the sideline, flexing the knee and everything like that. We know he asked out of the Jets game. What has he been through these last few weeks?
I can't understate the mental component to it. He's really testing the boundaries of what Will can do, and it's very important to him. This team's important to him. He has been one of the main voices, the pillars of reason. When you have adversity in a season, the leaders are leaned on that much more, and so his fight week in, week out, and is not gone unnoticed by all of his teammates for sure. And it also, I think, kind of helps in an indirect, unintended consequence way by you're seeing this guy do everything he can to play, and then the frustration the frustration that's ensues when he's unable to. His teammates, I think, indirectly have an appreciation for being on the field in their own right that much more. Just because you're seeing guys who, when he's not out there, he absolutely, positively wishes and would do anything to be out there with his teammates. So, he continues to prove to be a linchpin for this team, and we're all happy that he gives it his all every week.
What about for Calais, just that he has an opportunity with this team to get into the tournament?
Yeah, no, I think that was that's why he's here. That it was he's just every week you're just like, wow, we're fortunate to have this guy, and he almost has that youth football energy towards football, like just a love for it that is he's never really satisfied. His appetite for the game is real, and every time that he speaks, the team takes it super serious, and it leaves an impression on them, and they can he's one of the absolute reasons why we're in a situation where we are still alive for postseason play, and we get an opportunity to play one guaranteed game, and if we take care of business, we have an opportunity to keep going in the season, which has been the whole motive and point of trying to turn this thing around, because if you're able to, you're also a weathered, experienced, tough team that is all of those components are what it takes in December and January football.
There's such a difference between how the season began and how it's ending.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at turning points, what's the main turning point that stands out in your mind?
It was the Monday night game in LA. I think we were able to win that game with it was one of our first examples. Besides, I think I can't even remember if it was before the. It was one of the first examples of complementary football in all three phases. I think and there was it was a hard fought game that on you're almost as a team you're embarrassed of your 2-6 record being on national television, and I challenge guys to own that and do something about it, and they really have since. So there's because once you do that, you win a couple games in a row, and then a lot of times people break the next time there's a setback, and what I've seen is guys not blinking anytime maybe something doesn't go the way we had hoped, to the point of being in a situation where the last two games we knew we had to win and have some help, and as a result we're staring another playoff game in the face with the New York Jets that we'll have to earn, and that will be our complete focus. And if you focus on that, then you hopefully you have an opportunity to focus on another opponent. But we'll have to first get to that, which will start the second that tomorrow starts. And otherwise, I'm getting excited to get on the plane and take a nap.
Last question.
Mike, can you run us through, I guess, the process behind the
Yeah, it when I called it, I didn't think it was going to end up that way. Otherwise, I wouldn't have called it. It was a situation kind of new. We were kind of being a little more aggressive in that situation because I was aware that in about 10 minutes there was the dry night that we were having was gonna turn into a wet one that I kind of figured that this was the moment to try to go get a lead that you would need a execution of a lot of pass plays in wet weather to come back from. So they did a good job. They were blitzing, and unfortunately, the way that it formatted the play, we didn't get a chance to down block something at the point of attack. So it looked pretty. It looked like the wrong decision for sure. But that's the nature of what I signed up for. So it was more just a misplaced play call for the defense that they executed. But it was we had a rhyme and a reason. I'm sure it didn't feel that way when it didn't work, but that was kind of the thought process.